Marvel, at some point, for their own reasons, went away from Punisher in his traditional role, how we're used to seeing him. Now, this didn't really work out too well. And we could get into all the reasons why we believe Marvel tried this. I could come up with a million theories, one in particular that might be true. I don't get bent out of shape about that. Companies try new things all the times for whatever their reasons are. When it doesn't work, there needs to be a pivot. And for a while, it might have seemed like, man, maybe they're just not going to pivot at all and they're going to stick here. And I'm not getting ready to tell you right now that, oh, that's it. Marvel's back. They're doing what we want. I'm not going to say that, but I think we do have signs. And I keep saying this, and I believe it's true. I think that there are signs that Marvel, at least, they're recognizing, okay, we went in a direction that wasn't necessarily jiving with the fans. This wasn't really what they wanted. They've told us what they wanted, and now we need to get back to that. So I wanted to get to this article from GamesRadar.com, and let me go back up to the top. Frank Castle is back in new R-rated comic that Marvel promises is the most violent in Punisher history. Now, I don't think that Marvel has to necessarily go R-rated for a good Punisher comic book. I think I understand why they're doing this. There was a big pushback when Marvel made an attempt, a go at changing Punisher from what we know of the Punisher, and I don't think anyone really liked this too much. I don't think this was really accepted. So now it would appear that they're trying to rein that in a little bit and get back to what we know as Punisher. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at this at all. It's my hope and my desire that Marvel will lean into their characters how we know the characters and just carry them forth that way. There's a reason these characters are beloved. There's a reason that these characters make waves. Okay, this is going to be as gritty and bloody as it gets. I think sometimes there is an overcorrection, right? Like a company will do something that people don't like, and in an attempt to make it right, they will overcorrect. I think they might be in that territory here, maybe overcorrecting a little, but maybe not. Maybe this is exactly what everyone is screaming for. I've never been the biggest Punisher fan, so I can't say what big, Punisher fans are calling for, but I know what Marvel was doing in the past, I'd say year or so, maybe longer than that. Fans have not been happy with. So maybe this will be a welcome return of Frank Castle. Hot on the heels of actor Jon Bernthal's return as Frank Castle in Daredevil Born Again, Marvel Comics has announced the return of Frank Castle in comics with a new Punisher Red Band comic by writer Benjamin Percy and artist Julius Ohta. That the publisher is promising will be the most violent Punisher, the most violent in Punisher history. And I'm sure a lot of people will tune in for this. There was the Marvel event Blood Hunt that was just going on, and people really loved it. I didn't really tune in. It wasn't really my thing, but I heard good things about it. Maybe it wasn't good. I can't speak on that because I didn't read it myself, but I did hear good things about it. Castle last appeared in the Marvel Universe in 2023's Punisher number 13, which left him stranded in the fantasy-fueled alt-reality weird world with no memory of his life as Punisher. Castle's decommissioning of sorts came at the end of one of the character's most transformative stories ever, which changed him from being a deadly street vigilante into the leader of the Hand, complete with new symbol, nothing like his classic skull emblem. And to me, that's one of those things that you can't really mess with. I mean, you can. It's Marvel's company. They can do what they want. but it would be like DC changing Superman's S, like completely removing it and making it something else. I don't think people would really stand for that too well. And this is another one of those things where I wonder why companies do this. I don't really understand, and I'm sure it's something, beyond me, above what I know. Frank Castle's brutal war on crime is reignited this September in Punisher Red Band. The 5-issue limited series will be by writer Benjamin Percy and artist Julius Ohta, currently delivering twisted horror together in Helverine. Reads Marvel announcement polybagged for explicit content. The Red Band series promises to be the most violent in Punisher history as Frank Castle, freshly resurrected and back in his classic costume, is allowed to fully unleash his brutal band of justice on the criminal underworld. And this is the part I can say, this is the part of Frank Castle that people like. His family was killed, and he has vowed that he will take these criminals out and there will be get back on someone. Someone will pay for what has happened to his family. Here's a gallery of interior pages by artist Julius Ohta, along with covers from Punisher #1 by Marco Cicchetto, that's my guy right there, and E.M. Gist, as well as Hidden Gem variant by classic Punisher artist Mike Zeck. How about that? Okay, all right. The interior art is not bad. The interior art is not bad at all. Is this okay? Okay. I'm not a big Punisher dude, but I might have to check this out. And this is a side note. And I don't know that this is the case. Look, Chuck Dixon is a big deal. So when Chuck Dixon does things, people pay attention. I wonder if someone at Marvel saw Chuck Dixon's success with the Horsemen and realized that people do have an appetite for this. People who love the Punisher. The Horseman is, well, that book, he gets busy. he gets busy really quick. If you haven't read The Horseman, I would definitely go to rippaverse.com and pick up that first Horseman book. It's not Horseman #1. It's Horseman Welcome to Florist Park. And man, when I tell you, yeah, he gets with it. He is taking criminals out and he's not playing around. So yeah, this is, like I said, I know for many people who love the Punisher, I think this is going to be a good thing. In the story, Frank will have to deal with his amnesia, but that won't stop him from apparently returning to an incarnation of the character that has become somewhat infamous thanks to his indiscriminate violence against villains that often amount to stereotypes of street criminals. Marvel previously distanced itself from the classic Punisher logo in the lead up to Frank Castle leaving the Marvel Universe, thanks to its unwilling association as a real-world emblem for people who embrace ideas of enacting violence on others in a way few superhero logos transcend their source material. Yeah, and I get why companies do that. I don't think it's a necessity per se. It's a comic book. Comic book characters do all kind of things that, if people put on a Superman costume and start, jumping off bridges, I don't know if it would make sense for DC to say, you know what, we're just going to abandon the Superman logo. So I don't think it was a necessity for Marvel to do this. I'm sure there was some fan backlash. If there's anybody who listens to my videos that's a huge Punisher fan, let me know what that backlash was like. I'd heard some rumblings online, but I didn't really keep up with it too much. But this is good. Stories like this, as I said before, I won't go through the whole article, But for me, stories like this tell me that Marvel has heard your voice. They may not be moving at the speed you want them to move at or the speed you think they should move at, but I honestly believe they are making efforts to course correct and bring their characters back to a form that people recognize.